We are now joined by Tennessee Tech head coach Kim Rosemond. Coach, welcome to March Madness. If you could, please make an opening statement, and then we'll take questions from the room.
Very excited and humbled to be here. Excited about tomorrow night and our matchup with Monmouth, and have tremendous respect for Coach Boggess and what she has done in a very short time with that program. They played extremely well in their conference tournament, won 4 games to get here, just like we did. We won 3 games to get here. So I think you're going to see a great matchup tomorrow night. 2 teams that play really hard, that love each other, and have a great connection on the court. So so excited for tip-off at 9 p.m. tomorrow. I can't get here fast enough.
All right, for those in the room, raise your hand. We'll get you a mic. Please state your name and your affiliation.
Holly Warlick, ESPN. Kim, I'll ask you what I asked the players. What makes this team special?
Well, I'm going to use a word that is thrown around probably way too much in college athletics, but it's not just a word that we throw around. It's something we live by, and that's our culture. And we've been building this culture for 7 years now, and it is it's something that we live every single day. It's called our SOAR culture. We serve others. We own it. We don't whine. We don't complain. We don't make excuses. We acquire knowledge on the court, off the court. It's not just about basketball. It's about trying to help these young women prepare for life. And then we respond positive. We've had to use every bit of that this year. I was reminded after our season turned on February the 11th. That was a turning point in our season when we lost at TSU. We gave up, I think, 82 points at TSU, and we had to use all of those things to get it back on track. But that's when your culture comes into play, is not during the good times. It's when things get hard, and you have to dig down. And it hadn't maybe gone. We were picked to win it, coming into the season, and that's a pressure and an expectation that this team hadn't had yet, and we were learning how to deal with those expectations. But to our players' credit and to our staff's credit, we lived that culture out even when it got hard. And I will also say this, after that loss on February the 11th, I learned a long time ago, you better surround yourself with people that are a lot smarter than you are. And I have an unbelievable staff. Allie Clark and Melanie Walls have been with me from day one, 2016. And we walked in that staff meeting that day, and Melanie Walls, she and I were assistants together at Middle and won 2 championships there. And she said, Coach, we got to make a change. We need to start pressing. And since then, that was, I worked for Melanie Balcom for 9 years, learned so much from her, but we didn't press a lot because we were shooters and we shot the ball well. And, we didn't, kind of a philosophy thing, we didn't really want to wear our kids out. And so that was what I've always veered to. But we needed to make a change with our team, and it has completely changed our season. We won 7 straight since then. And I want to make sure I credit my staff. That was Coach Walls made a great suggestion. Coach Clark has helped us install that press. Coach Wall has kind of been the architect behind it. And Coach Jasmine Sincor has done a great job of getting us better with our rebounding. And our director of operations, Brianna Ellis. It's only 4 of us, but we are connected, and we are fierce, and we don't back down from anybody. And I think our team has taken on our staff's personality.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So you lose at Tennessee State. What, besides what was your mindset goals? What did you think you could accomplish with the remainder of your conference play?
Well, we had been really good at times, but we had also been really inconsistent, and we had struggled guarding the basketball. And when we allowed the basketball to get to the paint, which we were doing, we weren't guarding it consistently well. It was why we lost at Moorhead, because we struggled guarding the basketball. And then because of that, we couldn't rebound. And that was the same thing that happened at TSU. We didn't do a good job guarding the basketball, and then we just got killed on the offensive boards. So when we went to pressing, first of all, it changed our mindset. We got aggressive, and our kids just bought into it. And then it shortened the shot clock. And so we weren't having to guard in the half court quite as much. And then we weren't having to get in those rotation situations quite as much. So we got better on the basketball. Our rebounding got tremendously better. We started getting more stops, which put us in transition. And this basketball team is really good in transition. This is the most athletic team we've had. This is the fastest team we've had. It's not the biggest, but it is the most athletic, and it put our players in a position to really play at their strengths. When you've got Jada Gwynn with the ball in her hands in that open court, and you've got our post players that maybe aren't the biggest in Anna Walker and Kiara Hill, Reagan Grimes, sometimes at the 5, running the middle of the lane, and you've got our shooters, Malia Owens, Peyton Carter, Jordan Brock, Ansley Hall, all those kids that can sprint the floor, spread the court. We are really, really tough to guard in transition. So I think it allowed us to start playing better to our strengths.
So you go into conference play. You lost to Little Rock in the regular season. What did you do different to adjust or get your kids to buy into?
Well, we lost to them twice, and the first time in January when we went to Little Rock, we just got manhandled. They were much more physical than us. They were much more aggressive than us. I lost my composure, and then in turn, our team lost their composure. But after that game that night, I went in the locker room and I told our players it wasn't on them, it was on me. And, I said, we'll learn from this. We're not going to hang our heads. We're going to get better. We had to turn around in less than a 36-hour period and play a very good SEMO team on the road. That was a really big win the next day. Then in less than 6 days, we turned around and played Little Rock again at home. And in that first half, you didn't see a whole lot of a change. We didn't respond to their physicality, to their athleticism very well. We made some adjustments at halftime. And then in the second half, you saw a little bit of a breakthrough. We scored 26 points in the third quarter. I think that was the most points that Little Rock had given up the entire year. And while we didn't win the game, we won a lot of confidence that day. We lost on the last possession that day. And we knew if we were fortunate enough to get a shot at them, we thought we had the right formula, and our kids were a lot more confident. Now we had to beat 2 very good teams to get there in SIUE and EIU, who had started the year. I want to say they started conference play either 11. I think they were 11-0 until Little Rock got them. And so we had to beat two good teams to get there. And I just have tremendous respect for Joe Foley. He is he's going to be in the College Basketball Hall of Fame. There's no doubt. But it's our kids, you can put together the best game plan there is. And Coach Allie Clark did that last Saturday. But if those kids don't execute it, don't believe in it, and then make it work, doesn't matter how good your game plan is. And I got to credit our players. Our players executed our game plan almost to perfection. And if you would have told me at any point in this year, much less in January, that we would have won an OVC championship and we would go 0 for 6 from the three-point line, I would have said you were crazy, because at one point we were living and dying by the three. But that is a credit to the maturity, to the leadership, and you just saw the leadership up here before me in Malia Owens and Jada Gwynn, and we've got several other great players. But to watch how those young women have grown through the year, how their toughness has grown through the year, I'm not only a proud coach, but I'm like a proud mama.
Yeah, I bet. Okay, so I walk us through your journey as a coach for the Eagles. Why did you come to Tech? What was your vision for the program?
I appreciate that question, because I was about 75 miles down the road for 9 years at Vanderbilt. I was fortunate enough to work for Melanie Balcom. We We won an SEC championship, went to two Sweet 16s, 7 NCAA tournaments. And I was at a place where you could combine the best of both worlds in academics and athletics. And so I wasn't necessarily looking to be a head coach, but I knew if I ever tried it, I wanted to go somewhere where you had the best of both worlds, and you went to a place where women's basketball matters. And the year before the job came open, the year before Coach Davis retired, I'd come up to watch the Tennessee Tech men's basketball practice, and Coach Allie Clark was actually on staff and took me around and showed me the Hooper Evelyn Center and what Mark Wilson and his staff had done, the investment they had made. I knew it was a place we could win. It had been done before. It hadn't been done consistently in a very long time. It's been 23 years since Tennessee Tech was in the NCAA tournament, which is almost unheard of, right? Yeah. You're talking about we won our 1,000th program, had our 1,000th program win in January. Only 21 teams at the time in NCAA history have done that. So Mary No Matters, what she started, what Bill Whirl continued, at Tennessee Tech, it was why I wanted to be here. The commitment from Mark Wilson and the athletic program. Coach Frank Harrell is in here today, and those two guys, along with Dr. Odom, hired me and believed in me. And it is a place where women's basketball matters, and it is why I knew we could get it back. Now, it's been a process, and we've been here 7 years, and we have, as Malia so eloquently said, we have not skipped a step in that process, and sometimes we've hit the same step twice, but it's all been worth it, and it just makes it even that much more rewarding.
Well, I will tell you, I have been on the losing end of a lot of Tennessee Tech games as a player, so I have a tremendous amount of respect for your all's history, your program, what you've done, and so congratulations for being here.
Thank you, Holly.
Awesome. Is it okay that we take some time like this, or how much time do we have?
We have time for about 2 more questions.
About 2 more questions. You alluded to, this is Brenda Vendling in ESPN. You alluded to the roles as you get up and down the court and what you're doing. Can you kind of, especially with Malia and Jade and Gwen, kind of describe what makes them special, what, as far as players on the court, their skills, their strengths, what really makes them special?
Well, first of all, what they have done since we got into conference play, and especially down the stretch, you've got to get buy-in, but you've also got to get all in, and they have been, and you got to have your seniors. You have to have your seniors be all in, and Jada, Malia, Dana Joy McFarland, who maybe has not played as much but has been an unbelievable teammate and has helped us get here. And Jordan Brock, who came back for her 6th year. What a great story. Those kids are all in. But Jada and Mo have put us on their backs the last month. Jada is, she's the best point guard in the OVC. I was very disappointed that she wasn't named to the first team along with Malia, who 100% deserved to be on the first team. But I thought Jada handled it so well, and then to be able to be named MVP of the conference tournament when we need a big bucket down the stretch, that kid just went and got it. And then Malia Owens, to see the year that she has had, all you got to look at her stats. I mean, the way she has shot the basketball has been incredible. We knew she came here as a great shooter. She's become a great player, and she has worked and worked and worked to become a complete player on both ends of the floor, and she's done that. And what has been awesome about the last 4 games for her, she hasn't, it hadn't gone in the bucket as much, but I haven't been able to take that kid off the floor because she's our ball stopper. She's made plays off the basketball. She's made plays with the basketball, whether the ball is gone in the hole or not. And they have led like you would want your 2 all-conference seniors to lead.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. The Tennessee Tech practice will begin